Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian. It worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost.
September 9th, 2014. Destiny just released. It was Bungie's first new franchise at trying something different other than Halo, and was also the first game to have an agreement between Activision and Bungie. Destiny was one of the first big games to come out on the new generation consoles at the time, and was always something I saw in media. It featured a vast open worlds with enemies and bosses for you to kill, and was a loot grind based game, overall having a lot of RPG elements in it. Destiny as a kid was one of my favorite games to play growing up and still is today. It's also one of the first shooters I really got into, and I still enjoy this game till today despite the lack of players playing the game. But today I want to talk about why I still enjoy this game, along with a bit of nostalgia adding to my claim as well. And as well as some of the things I don't like about this game, and also why this game holds a special place in my heart. The story in Destiny wasn't something I was familiar with, and it's also another problem that the game has, is that it kinda sucks at giving you lore, especially back in the day with so little knowledge. But after playing through it again and doing a bit of research, and also to mention how Destiny has evolved over the years, I have a pretty good understanding of it, and it's also something that's overlooked within Destiny. Basically before everything, Guardians, Fallen, Hive, all of that, there was the Golden Age. There was the Traveler, a mysterious, spherical entity that hovered over the Earth. This Traveler sparked the Golden Age, which was a period in which humanity began to spread across all over the solar system, colonizing planets such as Mars, Venus, and Moon. Technology advanced and expanded, and human lifespan tripled. Basically everything was going well until a dark entity known as the Darkness loomed in on the Traveler, therefore ending the age of prosperity which the Traveler had brought, and started a new period known as the Collapse.
Across the black gulfs of space, centuries after our golden age began, this darkness found us. And that was the end of everything.
Following the collapse, this led to the near extinction of the human race, where only a handful remain. In this period was where the Traveler created ghosts, in which their purpose was to resurrect fallen warriors as light bearers, with the sole purpose to protect and defend humanity when the Traveler couldn't. Us, the player, plays as these light bearers, or in other words, known as Guardians. At the time, I thought Destiny lore was so confusing, but after fully understanding it, I actually like the lore. It's so interesting and has many mysteries attached to it, as well as plot holes to it, like where did the Traveler come from, or hell, what is it actually? However, I do see it's something hard to get into, especially if you're just playing the game, since it doesn't point out most of its lore, just like I said before. But nonetheless, Destiny has its fair share of vast world, but we're only just scratching the surface of Destiny and just why I like it so much. When you think about Destiny, what's the first thing you think of? For me, it was exotics and raids. I feel like Destiny was known for its creativity and difficulty within the raids, and the exciting loot it brought, and this for me was one of the reasons why I fell in love with Destiny. You see, back when the game first came out, I was in a difficult situation in which I had no friends, and I also didn't have a Mac at the time, so I couldn't experience all these raids that came out. Which brings me to another problem within Destiny itself, is I feel like to experience the best parts of the game, you need to have close friends to help you along with certain missions and scenarios within it. And if you don't have friends, then, well, good luck. And I felt that really held back those experiences that the game had to offer. But fast forward years later, buying the game on PS5, I had friends now, and now having a mic made some friends in the game, which led to me finally playing the raids again. So yeah, I really feel like Destiny in some cases can be a double-edged sword. But enough of me ranting about the raids, I want to talk about the raids itself. Destiny had 4 expansion packs: The Dark Below, House of Wolves, The Taken King, and Rise of Iron. Each of them were solid, but one I remember most fondly of, and my favorite, was The Taken King. To refresh your memory, The Taken King featured 3 new classes along with a new campaign, and new strike missions along with new Crucible maps. The expansion introduced new factions of enemies known as the Taken. Enemies taken by our new antagonist, Oryx. Personally, the Taken were my favorite enemies in the game, mostly because I really like how they introduced the Taken as this superior deadly force, and I feel like the game did a good job at pointing these details out, at least more than Siva did. And I also think that the expansion sort of forced you as a player as this inferior force, and made the Taken a faction you should fear in every right, and I think it's pretty sick how they did it. But anyway, just like any other expansion, Bungie added a new raid known as King's Fall. Now I don't have too much memory of King's Fall since I only played it a couple times with a few friends back in the day, but I'll try my best to explain the raid's level design in general since I believe each of these raids have all of these things in common. King's Fall, Coda's End, Water Glass, whatever it may be, has the most creative mechanics and level design in a game I've ever seen, and also iconic in its own way. Coda's End had the dark endless depths while King's Fall had the flying ship obstacle course. And I like how each of these raids stood out from each other in various ways. Raids as a whole brought such a challenging but rewarding experience upon the players, and also among the community as a whole. And that actually brings me to another point, which most importantly was working together and having fun with your friends and to complete raids, and work together to complete this challenging task. Not just raids, but the freedom it brought with playing with our friends, whether it was missions, crucible, raids. All of these things make Destiny to Destiny, and just why I love the game so much. One important aspect of Destiny was the gear. Yes, the gear. The gear in Destiny was something Bungie was good at, from making a level system everyone would adapt to and love. The harder the challenge, the bigger the reward, and the higher level you are, the better loot you'll receive, overall adding that RPG effect, and the system skills throughout the whole game. But what I really like about the weapons in particular is its stunning and standout designs, especially exotics. And I really like how Bungie did this, so much so that I can instantly recognize the weapon. Like, hey, that's the Thorn, or hey, that's Outbreak Prime. This also goes for armor as well. Not only that, but most of the gear in Destiny also came with special abilities for each weapon that really stood out from each other. Bungie overall went and made you into this overpowered badass guardian and made the gear super diverse and unique, and this definitely exceeded most people's expectations, even for me. One final small topic I want to get into was its classes. From the beginning of the game, you have the ability to choose your class: Titan, Hunter, and Warlock. However, don't worry too much about your choice since you can have 3 saves dedicated to any character. Destiny classes each have their own unique strengths and abilities and gear. The Hunter, for instance, has 3 skill trees known as the Gunslinger, Blade Dancer, and Night Stalker. These skill trees have these special moves known as the Supercharge, in which gives you a special ability, basically your trump card, to destroy your enemies depending on which character you're on. Hunter has the one-shot golden gun, as while the Titan has the void shield. Maybe take a blast of purple orb to the face. All of these really characterize each of these characters and their own playstyle, and I also like the fact that it gave you the option to try different builds and playstyles. After finishing the game, I thought that I should try playing Hunter next time to see what it's like, adding that replayability and enjoyment within Destiny. So in conclusion, I really appreciate what Destiny brought and still do today, from its creative arsenal to its world or its abilities and classes. All of these elements I deeply admire, but there are some parts of Destiny that I find difficult to get along with, but it's completely fine. Overall, Destiny can be either something you hate or something you love, but for me, it was one of the best shooters I ever played. So remember Destiny, and don't forget the memories it brought.